going on, guys? Welcome back to Mainville ATV and Outdoors. We're doing something a little interesting today. If you guys saw before on our 21 Maverick Sport, we put a Razorback off-road expedition rack in the rear. We have some goodies sent to us from Dirty Life among a bunch of other things, and we have some other stuff to make this a little bit of an Overland build. I'm not sure if that was on purpose, but we accidentally ended up building a pretty cool crawling Overland side by side. So we have all sorts of stuff to show you guys today, and we can't wait to get into it. Cass is installing our new microphone. We got a brand new camera, a Canon R3, which we're trying out for the first time today, so you're gonna have some patience. But we also got these DJI wireless microphones, and they're pretty slick.
No peeking.
According to this, we can hear you now.
Nice.
That's the stuff we're trying to avoid.
Holy shit, that cunnilingus cloud is huge.
Okay, what are we doing, Cass? What do we have?
We have a jacket.
Do you even know what we have?
That I will be installing once it starts raining.
Because I got all sorts of goodies. Dirty
I
Life
honestly
is
don't
taking care of
have
us.
any idea. I do know, obviously, spare tire, which will be mounted right here. I assume RotoPax mounted right here. I'm assuming you got two of them. Knowing you, you got two, one for each side. Confirmed.
Confirmed.
Yes. Okay, so two RotoPax, and I don't know what any of these are.
I like letting you do it without knowing any of the stuff that I've done. And
all I saw was the transactions go through our bank account, like cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
So these are the Razorback off-road mounts for the RotoPax. DirtyLife.ca sent us the RotoPax among a bunch of other stuff. So we're going to be able to mount those today, like Cass assumed correctly. Good job. Yes. And then we have the spare tire mount, which you are also correct. I have a full spare right here. This is a 33-inch spare. It's a big dog. So I don't know if Razorback Off-Road was prepared for that kind of weight.
For a Mainville spare tire.
But we're gonna try. I was gonna go a lot bigger, but I don't know. I think this is a really good spot in the platform.
Yeah, there is two of them.
Those are really hard to get a hold of. And luckily, Dirty Life went fighting to go and get these. There's such shortages to get this stuff right now.
Oh, it's gonna look sick.
It is gonna look good.
Cool.
Happens to be in my color.
Jacket, CKX.
Dirty Life likes to keep care of us, so we got us some jackets, some fall jackets. They're so nice, very simple. We actually have different versions of these in other brands that he took care of us with too.
Yep.
So thank you, Trevor, for that. I think we have some helmets in here too. These are mirror mounts. I can't forget those actually. We're gonna put those there.
More jackets. This one's Kyle's.
Fairly certain.
Agua.
That's right.
It's a nice gray.
I actually wore that when we were doing the radio interviews for Dirty Life's big show.
Because it was cold
Yeah.
and you didn't pack one?
So I just told him I want this, and he's like, okay, and he took care of it.
I don't know how many times you've gone on a trip and you're like, bah, I don't need that. And like you're in the mountains on like a glacier tour and you're like, I had to buy a $200 jacket because I didn't pack one. So now we have 8.
Oh, yeah, those are Demon Power Sport jerseys because I like them.
Ooh, more jerseys. Joyzy.
One of those helmets is the one I wore when I went to Ontario. He sent that with us. And the other one is an identical helmet, but smaller for Aaron. Aaron needed a new helmet, so we got one, but you're definitely going to want to pull one of these out.
I'll pull this one out because I think this one's yours anyway.
Absolutely beautiful
nope,
helmets.
It's the other one.
Is it?
Yep.
You knew right away?
Yeah, because all the packaging's still in it.
Oh, Trevor repacks them.
Oh, okay, well.
Yeah, he takes this stuff very seriously. It's his job.
Well, then.
One of them is going to be dusty because I didn't wash it, and that's the one. But either way, if you open up one of these, people will get the idea. So that's definitely Aaron's. So that's the one that he had built up for her and changed out all the pads to fit her head. But that's a Titan. This is, I believe it's called an Airflow, so it's very summer friendly. We actually have another one up there, that's mine. And then we have two, oh, is it called? Yeah, something like that. And then we have 2 winter ones up there, full-time winter ones. But so now I have an extra one of these, and we have the one for Aaron. Ooh, got a big one coming.
Look at those cumulus clouds.
Is that what they actually are?
I think so, I have no idea. Correct me in the comments.
So obviously there's our full spare. Let me walk around this. I believe that is an M40 Rogue by MSA, EFX are the same company, I think they're MSAs. And then we have a System 3 off-road 33 by 9.5 R18. Full spare, gonna be a fair bit of weight up here. I'm pretty sure physically it fits, not an issue. I'm worried over time if these welds are gonna hold up, but we're gonna test this Razorback off-road UTV accessory, the Expedition cage, also available at dirtylife.ca. But we're gonna start with accessorizing that because that's what I'm most excited about. Drake's showing up with a hole saw kit because we have to install this, but I'm gonna show you guys more about that and what that is later. This is all very Overland related.
Mystery box.
Ready to get to work?
Yes.
So we have one of Razorback Off-Road's mounts up for the RotoPax. Now, this is their design. There's 1,000,001 ways to mount RotoPax to just about anything. And that's why everyone loves them. They are pricey, true, but we have one here built up. So this is a two-piece setup. It is slightly adjustable. So where you see these two nuts, this can actually extend out. The reason for that is you can buy many different RotoPax. So I bought these in particular, mostly because this is what we could get a hold of. It's 1.75 gallons or 6.6 liters. So I'm gonna have basically 13 liters of fuel on the unit, which is good because not only do I have a heavy foot, but ever since we did the turbo setup and we just dumped fuel in it for power, it is a thirsty girl, especially when we put it into sport mode. So we have this one for the other side, but I already mounted one up here. I'm gonna show you guys what's going on here. So basically, you'll see that there's a slot, obviously, but then there's these two little holes. And on the actual jerry can, there's these bumps. That's just to help you line it up a little bit. So you can basically get that on there. Start threading in this guy. And as you're threading it in, eventually you'll get to the point where you can kind of clock this guy. Oh, I went too far. So there you go. They have other ones too. What it'll allow you to do is lock these, because obviously if you're on a trailhead, you go for a hike or something, someone can literally just take these. So I may pick up some of those, or I'll make up a bar in here so I can lock this myself. There's a lot of ways to do stuff. So that's the RotoPax setup. I'm gonna get to the other side and put that on, and then we're gonna move on to the spare tire.
I've already started organizing things because I have an OCD husband who taught me what to do. Hey.
Not my fault.
Hey. What do you think? Yeah? Okay.
We got them both mounted up. I'm a sucker for all things symmetrical, so this is making me really happy right now. I have seen other people on other videos, like one of my favorite channels on YouTube is Adrenaline Junkie Prod. He's a big side-by-side guy and he loves doing these feature-length videos, but he also has this on his Razor setup. What he did was he grabbed one of these mounts and he just did it on the back side of this and kept his jerry on the inside and only brought one, saving some weight and so on. But he also had a spare tire mount out this way and just had the bolts holding onto both, so he could have a spare and his fuel right there. So this does add a little extra width up top. It could grab some trees and stuff like that, so there is some things to consider. Myself, I think I like this. I'm gonna give this a shot and we're gonna move on to doing the spare, but first we gotta add Razorback Off-Road to our sticker wall, so let's go do that. I've got stickers from brands and all sorts of crazy places for the last couple of years. The off-road community has definitely been my favorite. We can't wait to add to this in all sorts of different ways, but where do we put it?
Look.
Is there a good spot? Oh, yeah, I see what you're doing. Oh, there, that's convenient. Right above our turbo setup.
Perfect. No.
Yeah, check out that product. Give dirtylife.ca a call. Let them know you want what we have if that interests you, and they can help you out. They make this rack for all sorts of different machines. So
we have our spare tire. It's a full-size spare tire, 33-inch, so it's pretty big and heavy. But what comes with this Razorback off-road tire mount is a couple of options in terms of mounting hardware. You've got your 10 millimeter setup and your 12 millimeter setup with some O-rings so that the bolts don't fall off when you're taking off the tires. But most importantly, this hardware is adjustable. So you'll see that it's got some sliding holes that you can put the bolt in, adjust it to the size that you need based on the measurements that they provide and they ask you to grab from your tire. And then this part mounts to the back of the cage, allowing you to fasten your spare tire here with the lug nuts. We're just gonna get the measurement off the tire. You're gonna wanna lay it flat just like it is here. Measure the ground to the inner part of your tire and then slide this up. There's a bunch of holes pre-drilled. You just line them up, throw in some bolts, and then you're set.
You want to adjust that as close as you can to the cage so that it has the least amount of leverage possible, because we are dealing with pretty good weights, and I know I'm going to be stressing this thing out. I think it'll be fine, but we're going to give that a shot. One thing we do have to make sure is that we actually have the tools to swap the tire. Do you remember that guy a long time ago on a trail ride? Big fancy setup like this, couldn't get his spare tire off even though he had one. So he was prepared but didn't have the tools. So let's not be that guy. Lesson learned.
Don't be that guy.
So there it is, guys. We tried using the larger lug nuts. We thought we could do it because I actually tried it and everything worked. What I didn't think of is the socket, the 19 mil, is too large for these aftermarket rims. So if you have aftermarket rims, you'll know that they use like a 14 mil lug on there, so you can actually get a socket inside. So we did go with the smaller ones. We got it up there. It wasn't actually nearly as bad as I thought it would be. And then we lined it up before we gave it the Duggas. But check this out.
The true test.
So it swings no problem. We have it nice and tight. If you come back here, you can actually see how it's done. So you don't actually have to tighten this backside. There's actually a clip that'll fit in a channel and it'll hold that part. And there's a rubber that you put over like an O-ring on the other side, and it'll hold the lug nuts on there as you're putting it up. And you're probably gonna need a friend, or you can measure it out yourself, but Cass lined it up for me and we got it all sorted out. But I'm very confident in this. Like, it doesn't take a whole lot of effort. I thought this was gonna be way worse. I have zero issues with this at all. So, I mean, you're looking at your Overland rig. So when you're doing something like this, just make sure you actually bring the tools to do this, right? So luckily that's actually the same as my current lug nuts, so no big deal there. But we have that all tightened up. The Overland rig is looking really, really good. What do you think, Cass?
Basically, it just gives us so much more flexibility with this, both the cage and the RotoPax, because like Kyle was saying earlier, this is just me. This isn't the average user. We could put our camera gear in here, our drone, our batteries, if we need the Bluetti in here. And then we still have a ton of storage room on top if we want to bring camper stuff, a tent. Diesel wants some attention. But yeah, if ever we go out riding somewhere we really like a spot, like by a lake or something, we can just pull over for the night and camp on the spot. Put a cooler up there if you want to. The world's your oyster now. It looks a bit much from the back, especially from the side, not too bad. But from the back, it's a lot of rubber. So we're definitely going to be recognizable on the trail.
If we weren't already.
Yeah. And then Kyle doesn't have to worry about if we put it in sport mode or not anymore with the turbo and the heavy foot combo. These will be nice to have on the trail. If not for ourselves, it's always nice to have them for, you know, if one of our buddies needs it or something happens. So, which has happened to me in the past, so I can't even make fun. Honestly, it happens to the best or worst of us.
It looks good.
Yeah, just waiting for Drake to show up so we can do the
other thing. Yeah.
And because he's got a specialized tool that we need.
My mobile office coming to fruition here, and we have a whole other Overland build in the works, but it's going to take like 7 months from now.
Yeah.
And it makes this look silly.
Yeah.
But you know how the world works. We also have another machine ordered for you, which should be coming any day now.
I honestly keep forgetting about it because it's just been so long.
You have a whole other machine that we ordered months ago.
Back in April, and it's August now, and I suspect it'll be within the next month, but I'm trying not to get my hopes up.
So when I need to load up all my camera gear, cover an event, or I want to go camping, make some videos, whatever, this is it. This is what I'm going to do it out of. If you guys have never seen a tiger tail, basically it's a shock load rope that coils itself up. And it's pretty handy. I think it's rated for 12,000 pounds of shock load. It's not really to get you out. You'll find that you make a lot of friends and you have to get everybody else out.
And it's just that much faster for the easy pulls or towing. Even towing, if you have to tow a Jeep anywhere.
It's a lot more reliable than a winch. Yeah, this has been one of my favorites. Every machine that I will ever own will always have one as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
Look at this. This is for Kyle.
Is it? What am I looking at? It's a different way of explaining VIR. If you guys are tradies and you know what that means, then well, enjoy the meme. Anyway, Drake's here, and he brought me a hole saw kit, and apparently the one I need is 1.5. But what we do, oh, he also brought coffee, which is more important. But he brought a 1 3/4, which should be fine. Now, you're probably asking, why do I need that? These are from Pocket Change Fab out of the States. I just recently found them, but they make all sorts of stuff. So I ordered a set of these. Now, tricky part, they're not supposed to go on an XRC. And the reason for that is the only thing that makes this different from other machines is it has this little rocker guard here. Now, the problem with this is if you hit this, you're probably already hitting all of this.
That shelf is definitely tipping over.
Are you setting up a hammock?
With a sketchy shelf.
Off my machine and an insecure shelf that's supposed to be secure without a hammock? No, don't you dare.
No.
Don't you dare. There's 2 spots down here. On any other machine, an XXE, XMR, you're gonna see a little dimple, and that's where you actually drill. This is going to apply to any board. So if you get OEM, if you get whoever else's, they're all gonna be mounted to the same location. The third spot is roughly here. I have a wrap.
That's even sketchier. Oh my God, Cass.
Everyone's gonna hear your wireless microphone.
Well, you're over there explaining why things, and I'm over here thinking Cass might die.
I mean,
I have to drill holes into places that I can't see. There is 2 holes underneath right there. And if you measure it out, you can actually see where the hole is from the inside there. And then you basically come back around and you measure it, and I left ever so small spot. And that's where I'm just gonna drill and hope I'm right. Now, the only other thing is this one I can't see because of my wrap. So I might have to cut off my wrap, peel this part off, which kind of looks like it's already getting banged up. I beat the crap out of it with my feet apparently. We'll see what we do here. There they are. So the reason, like I was saying before, that you cannot do these on the XRCs is because you already have that skid there. So obviously we did some measurements, we made some holes, and we got her done. Because behind all that is the same mounting points as any other, obviously. So the XXC and the XMR, these are exposed with little dimples and you make the same holes. But all I did was go underneath, measure it. We made some holes here. We put it inside and we got it bolted up. Drake got this top one, which can be pretty bad from what he's telling me, because you basically have your seat in the way and there's a little access hole here, and this isn't enough room for most tools, but if you get creative, you can get her done. These things are freaking solid. So I'm confident that when I break those, it's gonna be something awesome. When you're doing this, take your time when you're measuring it. For me, I basically went underneath, saw the hole, lined it up, and then I measured to the center of that back hole, and it was 1 3/4 of an inch. So I marked it, I made a pilot with the hole saw, and once I knew that the pilot was entering the hole that the thread's going to, I knew I was roughly lined up. I do suggest a 1.5 hole saw. These are slightly larger than they're supposed to be, but it's not that big of a deal. So 1.5 would be perfect, and then you can bolt these up, no problem. What are you up to, Drake?
I was gonna take these mirrors off.
So we're taking the Can-Am ones off and we're putting some Seizmic ones on.
I got the wrong tool.
They're pretty slick.
Angle of the dangle.
They're significantly larger. Dirty Life got a hold of these for us. He even got mounts that are specifically made for my machine. He obviously has access to these for all sorts of a variety of different machines. And yeah, I just wanted to go with a larger one. They do make an LED light backing, and they also have colored backings. You can see those there.
All of which the cool versions Kyle didn't get.
I like the black. I'm a sucker for the black. This thing's got more than enough red.
Lights. There was one with lights and you didn't get it.
What do I pay you for, hey? Didn't get your chicken nuggets this month?
No. Didn't you get my quote from the last video?
Yeah. It's like 14 dino nuggies?
It was 14, but double sauce. It's
double
16.
Double sauce, all right. Yeah. B-roll. This camera is amazing. I can't wait to actually understand.
Can you imagine if that camera was terrible?
Oh my, I'd be furious. Google on R3 right now, guys. See, yeah.
It's basically the cost of
yeah,
a decent
my
UTV.
R3 is horrible. Can you imagine?
Look at this though. Yeah, it is the price of a Kodiak, yep.
Yeah. But it is pretty.
With the lens.
And only half as fun.
That's true, we got the lens too.
Yeah. Took a little longer than we wanted, but we took our time on those boards. Got these Seizmic mirrors done. They are quite a bit larger. Definitely a pretty handy mirror. When I was in there, a lot more visibility, so I was happy with that. These mirrors are great, honestly, but they were too small, so we went with these. You can get different colored backings. You can get LEDs in the bottom of this. Like, you can get some pretty slick setup. Like, that's what Dirty Life was telling me all about, and I went with the plain Jane ones. These are to keep things away from your door. When we were up in Ruby Mountain in British Columbia, I tipped over, and I actually scraped up and busted a bunch of my mud flaps. My original mud flaps were out here, and all of them were just toast, so I had to rip them off. This will help prevent some of that, so we got that done. Drake made a good point. We turned the RotoPax around so that the actual spout wasn't like snagging a bunch of trees and stuff all the time, so it's probably a good idea in the long run to have them in this direction. And the spare tire mount, I think we might adjust it a little bit closer, but there's a lot of room there. It's funny to think that, and we were talking about this too, this will get you home, but this is a directional tire. No matter what, this will be in the wrong direction. So Cass and Drake are correct on that. Everything's good, we're happy. So it's just a matter of outfitting it with all of our gear, and we can go camping, go do whatever, and I'm really excited about that. So maybe some husband and wife, and we'll bring Drake and Aaron, we'll set up a big thing, just kind of stop wherever we want and camp. So if you guys enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Consider checking out that join button down below. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, just leave them, and I'll make sure to help you out with whatever I can, because some of this stuff can get tricky. Modifying certain things that weren't supposed to be modified or whatever is kind of my specialty. So here we are. And that's it, guys. We'll see you guys next time.